In the bustling world of modern finance, where digital currencies and complex stock market algorithms dominate the conversation, we often forget that the fundamental laws of wealth are as old as civilization itself. Thousands of years ago, in the wealthiest city of the ancient world, a set of principles were etched into clay tablets, principles that remain the bedrock of every fortune built today. In George S. Clason's timeless masterpiece, The Richest Man in Babylon, we find the definitive guide to moving from a life of scarcity to one of abundance. Clason uses the parables of Arcad, the legendary wealthy figure of Babylon, to teach us that financial freedom is not the result of luck or a mysterious secret, but the disciplined application of simple, universal laws. Whether you are struggling to pay off debt or looking to multiply your existing investments, this masterclass will provide the clarity and motivation you need to become the master of your own financial destiny. Imagine for a moment, if you could keep just 10% of every dollar you have ever earned, where would your bank account be today?
Chapter 1: The Man Who Desired Gold. Financial success begins with a profound sense of dissatisfaction. The story opens with Bansir, a chariot builder, and Kobe, a musician, who find themselves working tirelessly, yet remaining poor. They realize that while they have spent years honing their crafts, they have ignored the craft of making money. Their realization is the first step toward wealth. Hard work alone is not enough. One must understand the rules of the gold. Seeking mentorship is the next logical step. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, the two friends decide to visit Arcad, a childhood friend who has become the wealthiest man in Babylon. They ask him why fate has smiled upon him while they struggle. Arcad explains that fate has nothing to do with it. He simply learned and applied the laws of wealth that they had ignored. Chapter 2: The Richest Man in Babylon. Arcad's journey began when he was a humble scribe. He made a deal with a wealthy moneylender named Algamish. In exchange for carving a legal document onto clay tablets overnight, Algamish would tell him the secret to wealth. This trade represents the high-value exchange mentality, being willing to do the hard work necessary to acquire life-changing knowledge. The secret Algamish shared was deceptively simple. I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. He explained that most people pay everyone else, the grocer, the clothier, the landlord, but they never pay themselves. By keeping at least 1/10 of everything they earn, they plant a seed of wealth that will eventually grow into a mighty tree.
Chapter 3: 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. Start thy purse to fattening. This is the first and most critical cure. For every 10 coins you place within your purse, take out for use but 9. Your purse will start to fatten at once, and its increasing weight will feel good in your hand and satisfy your soul. This discipline creates the initial capital required for all future wealth-building endeavors. Control thy expenditures. Many people mistake necessary expenses for desires. As your income increases, your expenses will naturally rise to meet it unless you protest. You must budget your expenses so that you may have money to pay for your necessities, to pay for your enjoyments, and to gratify your worthwhile desires without spending more than 9/10 of your earnings. Make thy gold multiply. A fat purse is a good start, but it is the children of that gold, the interest and dividends, that truly build wealth. Every coin you save should be a slave that works for you. You must put your capital to work so that it may reproduce itself and help build the stream of wealth that shall flow constantly into your purse. Guard thy treasures from loss. The first sound principle of investment is security for thy principal. Is it wise to be intrigued by larger earnings when thy principal is at risk? Before you loan your gold to any man or invest it, consult with wise men. Secure the advice of those experienced in the profitable handling of gold.
Do not let the desire for quick riches lead you into risky ventures. Make a thy dwelling a profitable investment. If a man sets aside 9 parts of his earnings to live and enjoy life, and if any part of this 9 parts he can turn into a profitable investment without detriment to his well-being, then his wealth will grow more rapidly. Owning your own home reduces the cost of living and provides a sense of pride and stability that fuels further ambition. Ensure a future income. No man stays young forever. You must provide in advance for the needs of your growing age and the protection of your family. This involves making small...
Chapter 4. Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. Opportunity is a haughty goddess who wastes no time with those who are unprepared. In this chapter, Arkad discusses whether luck is something that just happens. He concludes that good luck usually follows opportunity. It is the result of being prepared and, most importantly, taking action when the moment arises. Procrastination is the greatest enemy of luck. Many people see an opportunity to invest or a chance to grow, but they wait for a better time. In Babylon, those who acted quickly were the ones who were called lucky. Luck is simply the intersection of preparation and the decisiveness to act before the window of opportunity closes. Chapter 5. The 5 Laws of Gold. Law 1 states that gold cometh gladly and in increasing quantity to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. This is the law of the seed. Law 2 declares that gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. This is the law of reproduction. Law 3 says that gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner, who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling. This is the law of safety. Law used 4 warns that gold slippeth away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar, or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. This is the law of knowledge. Law 5 cautions that gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment. This is the law of realism.
Chapter 6. The Gold Lender of Babylon. Wisdom is often more valuable than gold itself. Rodan, a spearmaker, receives a windfall of 50 gold pieces and seeks advice from Mathan, the gold lender. Mathan teaches him that if you desire to help your friend, do so in a way that will not bring your friend's burdens upon yourself. Borrowing and lending must be done with extreme caution. The borrower's ability to repay is the only thing that matters. A loan that cannot be repaid is not a kindness, it is a curse to both parties. Always ensure that the tokens of wealth, investments, are backed by the guarantee of safety. Chapter 7. The Walls of Babylon. Protection is a fundamental human need. Just as the massive walls of Babylon protected its citizens from invaders, your financial plan must protect you from the invaders of life. Illness, job loss, and economic downturns. Stability comes from having a defense. In modern terms, this is your emergency fund and your insurance. We cannot predict when a crisis will strike, but we can ensure that we have built walls around our finances that are strong enough to withstand any siege.
Chapter 8. The Camel Trader of Babylon. Determination can pull a man out of the darkest depths. This chapter tells the story of Dabasir, who fell into debt and became a slave. He realized that as long as he had the soul of a slave, he would remain one. But if he had the soul of a free man, he would find a way to honor his debts and regain his stature. Repayment is a matter of character. Dabasir created a plan, 10% for himself, the first cure, 70% for his living expenses, and 20% to be divided among his creditors. By consistently paying back even small amounts, he regained the respect of his community, and more importantly, his own self-respect. Where the determination is, the way can be found. Chapter 9. The clay tablets from Babylon. Persistence is the bridge between a plan and a result. Archaeologists discovered clay tablets detailing Dabasir's repayment plan and were amazed to find that the same principles worked for a professor in the 1930s who was struggling with debt. The math of wealth does not change across centuries. Success is a formula. If you follow the 70-20-10 rule, 70% to live, 20% to debt, 10% to wealth, you will eventually find yourself debt-free and wealthy. It requires no genius, only the discipline to stick to the proportions regardless of the obstacles. Chapter 10. The Luckiest Man in Babylon. Work is the best friend a man ever had. Sharinada, a wealthy merchant, tells the story of how he was once a slave. He learned that those who embrace work and strive to be useful are the ones who find the greatest opportunities. Work is not a burden, it is the vehicle through which we provide value to the world and receive wealth in return. Legacy is the final stage of the journey. Sharinada uses his wealth and wisdom to guide the grandson of his former partner, ensuring that the lessons of Babylon are passed down to the next generation. Wealth is not just about personal comfort, it is about the ability to build, to help, and to lead.
Conclusion. Your turn to build. Now that you have heard the wisdom of the ancients, the question is no longer how do I become wealthy, but when will I begin? The walls of your own financial Babylon are built one brick at a time, starting with that first 10% you set aside today. The principles laid out by George S. Clason are not mere suggestions. They are the laws of the universe. If you follow them, wealth is inevitable. If you ignore them, a lean purse is your destiny. Take these lessons, apply them with the discipline of a Babylonian master, and watch as your financial life transforms from a struggle into a masterpiece of abundance. Are you willing to pay yourself first today, or will you continue to give your hard-earned money to everyone else but you? Thank you for joining this masterclass at the 15-Minute Library. If you want to master the skills that make you indispensable, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the books that change lives. Share this with one person who is currently struggling to find their focus.